We have a report that there is an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie on the way, and it's going to be made for the Disney streaming service.
Not a movie.
Or, I'm sorry, I said movie, but I said series.
Yeah.
Oh, John, you know what? You're the one that broke this story, so tell us what's going on in this report, bud.
All right, so yeah, I know there's been a lot of rumors the past week about everyone getting their own Star Wars story.
Oh, yeah.
The Oprah memes were out there, right? Everyone gets a series, right? But the one that we got info on seems pretty strong. I think this is locked solid. Obi-Wan Kenobi series for the streaming service Disney Plus. I've been told it should be upwards of 6 episodes. It was originally supposed to be a movie, but going back to what we said about Solo, the returns on Solo's box office made Bob Iger change the game. And that whole quote, I don't know if you remember him last year saying, we're going to rethink how we approach things. That puts a little more clarity on what that quote meant, because if you may remember, Ewan McGregor was at the Solo premiere. They even sat him next to Ray Park, and they were going to do a big announcement about Kenobi after Solo opened. And then when the returns came in, they were like, oh, got to pump the brakes. Sorry, Ewan, you can shave the beard for now. Then they retooled this thing, and it looks like we're going to get a streaming service series out of it. So I don't know when that's going to come out, but or when it's going to be announced. But as far as I understand it, I've never put out a report that had more concrete sourcing on this. I'll just leave it at that. I think this thing's pretty solid, in my opinion.
So is Ewan McGregor still attached to this project, John?
Yes, he's been on board since day one. So it's funny, we all joke about all those times he gets interviewed, and it could be about, a car dealership, and someone will ask him about, are you going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi again? And he always says, I would love to do it, right? And that was his stock answer. The reason why he gave that stock answer is because he really felt that. He really wanted to do it. And I honestly think they're bringing this story, and they were making this thing because of Ewan McGregor.
Cool.
He was one thing out of the prequels everybody universally loved, and I truly think this project is one of those projects. We're talking about the divide in fanship. I think this is one of those projects that everyone can rally around the flag and unite over.
See, as a
no-brainer
fan, I am super stoked about this, because instead of getting 2 hours of content, we could be getting up to 6 hours of content, which is even better. So I'm pumped.
Yes.
What I think about, I guess, the potential of now doing, if you like what David just suggested, as many as 6 hours, where you probably just had a 2-hour movie that had a script written. And we reported that. Well, we didn't report it. I think you guys reported it, and we just talk about it. That's how this usually works out. But how there was like a director already tabbed, and they were writing the script. And so how do you stretch that out from 1 2-hour movie to 6, maybe 1 hour long episodes? Are you keeping Obi-Wan on Tatooine the entire time? Does he go off planet? Does he duel Vader? Was there a second duel with Vader that we don't know about? Is it just him picking off Tusken Raiders? John, do you have any, do you have any inclination, or do you just, maybe you don't have any insight there, but at least what would you hope to see in this series?
Yeah, I don't know anything about the details on it. I don't even know if they, I was told that the script is great, right? And it wasn't Alan Horn who told me that, so maybe there is some truth to it. But I don't know. I think one thing that I think is a missed opportunity, and I've talked about this on the Resistance broadcast, is that they have stressed at Lucasfilm they're not going to retell a story twice in canon, which concerns me, because I think it was a big missed opportunity to have Obi-Wan and Maul have that fateful duel in Rebels. As great as it was, you had Stephen Stanton, who I love, do the voice, and you had Sam Witwer as Maul. I get that. But imagine being able to have that in live action and have Ray Park once again versus Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi. If they were ever going to break that rule and re-show us something twice, which I think they may anyway, because they may do K2SO and Cassian meeting again.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.
You do it. You do it in the Kenobi series, and you make it the most epic lightsaber duel we've ever seen.
I agree with that, but would it be more epic to change that duel, or just keeping it the 3 moves that Rebels showed? Because I know that some people were upset by it, but it was almost poetic that Maul tried to beat Kenobi with the same move that he beat Qui-Gon Jinn on.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that is kind of funny. It's like when you pay for a UFC fight and it ends in like 3 seconds. You're like, man, why did I pay for that?
Yeah, I'd like to see a more mid-aged Obi-Wan.
Or they could do, I guess they could do, they match up again, and it was before he killed him or something. I mean, there's a lot they can do. I'm a little not queasy, but uneasy about the Vader, if them fighting again. I like them not meeting again until A New
the
Hope
Death
after
Star.
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
But I would love it if Vader and Palpatine popped up. I mean, I stress this often. I'm a big Ian McDiarmid Palpatine fan. I don't know if you guys are, but the guy's in his mid-70s now. He can still play the Emperor. He has said many times he would love to do it again. Get him in here somewhere. If he fits in a timeline, get the Emperor in the mix, even if it's just for a minute or two. Just sprinkle him back in there.
Just think about how they would do that, though, because in A New Hope, or the original Star Wars, whatever you want to call it, the sense is that Tarkin, for example, hasn't heard about Obi-Wan Kenobi in a very long time. But that doesn't mean the Emperor hasn't heard about Obi-Wan Kenobi for a very long time. And we know that in Charles Soule's Vader comic, there was a list of Jedi that escaped Order 66. And so it would be interesting to know if, Vader is still on this pursuit, or maybe we get to see the Inquisitors at some point with this movie. And
that would be cool.
They make an appearance on Tatooine. Maybe Obi-Wan hasn't shut himself off from the Force when we see him go back into the desert there at the end of Revenge of the Sith. Maybe he has to learn that skill. I feel like you could do some really cool exploration of how the Force works with this series. So I'm really excited about it. I'm also excited for the fact that, as many as 6 episodes, calling that a limited series, we've learned, whether it's talking about The Mandalorian or the Cassian Andor series, that limited series has a different meaning than it did a few years ago. This, to me, seems like the more traditional sense of you're getting these 6 episodes maybe, but that's it. And that's going to be the story. And I think getting a 6-hour-long, potentially, story is a pretty good reward for the fans.
Yeah, I agree. And they could always leave it. You have a 20-year gap there. And I this is all speculation here, but if they want to chunk that right in the middle there, the 10 years in the middle, so you have like a 9-year-old Luke Skywalker, and you could have a kid playing Luke, and you could have him interact with Obi-Wan, and not hammer it too home, but just sprinkle him in there a little bit.
Yeah.
You get the guy who played Owen and the actress who played Beru back. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. And then if you end on those 6 episodes, you still have 10 years there if you do want to finish it up with a movie or what have you. They will leave themselves breathing room to do stuff. It just makes sense from a movie and TV series making type of deal.
I like the idea of bringing back Maul. David, who is the name of that actor again who played?
Joel Edgerton.
Yeah, Joel Edgerton.
And he's
Joel
said
Edgerton,
before that he wants to come back.
Yeah, that was like a year ago. He was in the news and he was saying how he wanted to come back to Star Wars. Didn't you have you wanted him to be like a drug moisture farmer thing?
Yeah, like a Breaking Bad type thing, moisture meth farming.
Yeah, we thought that would be a good spin-off series for the, at the time, untitled Disney streaming service.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That's our take.
Sitting in his sand, with his blue milk extractors, and
it was a real stretch.
I'd sign me up. I'd watch it. Right? Let's throw it on AMC and do it. But
you're really too kind.
One other thing I wanted to say about Kenobi, real quick.
Yeah.
Where they can also work here is knowing that Obi-Wan Kenobi is a pathological liar, so they can retcon things and just say, "Oh yeah, Kenobi lied about that too." So when he said, "I haven't gone by the name Obi-Wan Kenobi since before you were born," they could just be like, "You know what? He lied about that too." So I love being able to use Obi-Wan Kenobi as a pathological liar as a way to retcon stuff. I'm a big fan.
Well, he's only a liar from a certain point of view, John. I think you should be a little bit more respectful.
Correct. Yeah.
I want to know what those joining us in the live chat think about our discussion so far, especially here with this new Kenobi series. If you're catching us on the rewind, I want you to comment down below underneath the video so that way we continue our conversation, our Star Wars conversations.
Thank you for watching Beyond the Blast Doors. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget, give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. Beyond the Blast Doors, a Star Wars conversation.